Being around the most creative people in the industry is where we wanted to be.
But what we love most of all is taking everything that we've learned over the last 14 years, whether it's fashion or photography or all of our wedding and event experience, and bringing it to you each and every week. Hello and welcome to Notes from the Lightbox. I'm Stephanie Boye, and I am lucky enough to be have my guest Lauren Sozmen again from Loli Events in New York City and Paris. Welcome, Lauren.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for sitting down with me. I wanted to talk to you about Wedding Coordinating 101. So a bride who is using a wedding coordinator or not using a wedding coordinator, I think there are some basic facts that maybe we could go over and you could sort of help to inform our audience what they should expect from their wedding coordinators. So I know a lot of people think that they can't afford a wedding coordinator, but I think there might be some truth to the fact that having a wedding coordinator could in some ways save you money.
Absolutely. I mean, if you come from the idea that time is money, you're definitely going to save a lot of money. I mean, certainly that planner is going to take on all the work and all the back and forth emails and planning all the meetings and make the appointments for your dress, to meet with the florist and all that good stuff. So certainly they're going to save you money that way. They will also make sure to go through all of your contracts and make sure that everything's correct, that the hours are proper and all that good stuff. So certainly, you know, they're going to help you, and they will give you a little bit of potentially wiggle room with some of the vendors. Again, if they're up and coming or whatnot, they'll know people that you would have never found if you had just Googled them.
That's right, and having experience with them, I mean, I know for us, when we have wedding coordinators come to us, if they know we haven't shot in a certain location, they might be able to come to us and say, hey, this is a great opportunity, it's a great wedding. So never be shy to ask your wedding coordinator to help you. Maybe, you know, just them knowing what your budget is and knowing what your expectation is, they might be able to make some suggestions of money saving. So here's the question. What amount budget, like if you said this is a $50,000, like what's the dollar amount of a wedding budget that you would say, okay, you should definitely have a wedding coordinator?
I actually think that it's really based on, it's not really a dollar amount necessarily, but it's really that everybody should have some kind of planning. So if you do have a very humble budget and you try to be aware of how much you're spending, you should have at least somebody that last month to help you out and through the entire wedding day to be there. And then based on, you know, having a greater budget, maybe you have partial planning where they help you with some of your vendors, but you've already booked the venue on your own. And then if you have, you know, a rather substantial budget, then you can spend it on, you just got engaged and you want help from beginning to end with absolutely everything.
I'm surprised to hear you say that they actually go to they'll line up your bridal dress appointments.
Oh yes.
That's like the whole thing.
It's really fun.
Okay, that's good to know. Great, so even if a couple were a DIY couple, they don't want to involve Aunt Sally and their sister in order to do the stuff on the day of the wedding, because that's no fun for anyone involved. And a day of is really a month of, in your opinion.
Exactly. I really believe that. I mean, I think hiring somebody just the day of to show up is not going to have the knowledge or the resources to really execute all those amazing things that you've come up with, all those beautiful little DIY inventions, potentially.
And there's probably a lot of people like you, like the more experienced wedding coordinators are probably like, you know what, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Just because they know that things can fall apart at the end if they're not in touch with all of the vendors and being able to sort of have their fingers, you know, sort of wrapped around a little bit of everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
So if you hire a month of wedding coordinator, what can you expect? Like, what should you expect for that service?
So really, you know, during that month, that coordinator should go to the venue, walk through potentially with the caterer, maybe even with the florist. They should get a copy of every single contract from each of your vendors to make sure that they're all good and the timing is good. They'll create a very detailed timeline of your day from beginning to end, from hair and makeup schedule till the last guest leaves and what needs to get packed and go back to your home or your hotel suite. And be able to connect with each of these vendors and say, hey, this is me, I'm the coordinator, reach out to me, so that you as the bride are getting less bombarded as that last month, which is getting more and more stressful.
Yeah, and I can tell you that from photography, that we always see it, that last, you know, month is so crazy, and that's really when a lot of the stuff, the money is due and all that kind of stuff, so that must be very helpful to do that. Okay, so are there any, like, can you tell me there are 3 essential facts about wedding planning that every bride should know?
Sure. I mean, number one, it's very time consuming, hence why some of us have careers out of it.
Yeah.
I do this full time, sometimes 7 days a week.
Okay, wait, hold on that fact. How long does it take to plan a wedding?
Usually on average, sort of a standard wedding from beginning to end takes about 250 hours. To plan. Yeah, it's long. It's long, and again, there's lots of back and forth and lots of emails and whatnot. So really, the time constraint, time consuming is number one. Number two, pricing for weddings is specifically in New York City is different than any other type of event. So this is not a bar mitzvah. This is not a dinner party you're throwing for your friends. So you need to really be well aware of that pricing is so that you can budget properly and whatnot.
Yeah, that is very true. And I think online, when you get that information off of online, I think honestly they're very unrealistic with the amount of money that they say each thing costs. I think they're trying to make it seem like you can do all of these things for this certain budget, but I actually think they're really off, which is another good thing about wedding coordinators because they have a realistic idea, knowing all of the vendors and what they would be charging, to talk to them and say, is this a realistic number? Because we get crazy numbers.
Yes, and then the last point really is there's just so many vendors out there. Again, New York City is a great market to be in the wedding industry, and it's really overwhelming as a client, to be going in there and trying to find the right vendor. So it's really just do your homework and call these vendors, talk to them, interview them if you can. You're really trying to build this A-team for your wedding. You're not just sort of having these individual pieces. It needs to be the whole package. So you want to make sure, I try to look for people with as little ego as possible, people that are pricing, according to their product and service that they're providing, and really match to the client's budget and their style.
Yeah, and it is like a movie. It's not made by just the director. You have 100 people like that have their say over what the final outcome is going to be. So that's good. People who can work together. No prima donnas. And how about, is there anything that every couple should remember about planning their wedding?
I mean, what tends to be forgotten just because, again, there is lots of stuff going on with money and families and different family dynamics and a bustling city and a big job and whatnot, is really, it's about the two of you. So it's, just remember, you're getting married. This is the only time probably you're going to have all these amazing people under one roof. And so just go back to that when you start getting stressed out and you're not sure that, the stamp is the right color for that invitation or something like that. It's going to be okay.
Well, great. Thank you so much for helping us out and telling us all about wedding coordinating. It was great having you.
It was very fun. Thank you.
And for more information on Loli Events, I will put the link below this video, and you can also visit our website and subscribe. It's www.notesfromthelightbox.com. Thanks for watching.